Welcome back to New Rockstars. Shang-Chi's trailer is here, right before the Falcon the Winter Soldier's finale. So how will this Disney Plus series set up the MCU beyond this final episode to the upcoming bigger titles like Shang-Chi, like Black Widow? Is it pretty much guaranteed that John Walker will say something offensive and piss off everyone in the Ten Rings? I think so. I think that guy does not care about his words that closely, and the Ten Rings, you do not want to offend them. I'm Erik Voss. This is Rogue Theory. With me today to go rogue is friend of the show, comedian and writer Jessica Clemons.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome back. So
Thank
good to have you
you.
back.
So happy to be back. I'm gonna put on these sunglasses. Does it make my outfit look cooler?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like
this is a look. Okay, I'm gonna keep them on.
Just keep adding things throughout the show, and
Just, like,
it's
keep
just going to
going.
get better and better.
Yeah, let's keep going. What's going on?
Perfect.
Also with us to return to the show from Gamertag Radio and Kind of Funny Network, Parris Lilly. Welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much for having me back again. Really excited for today's topics.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. And rounding out the panel, friend of the show, returning guest, Tom Michelsen.
How's it, fam? I don't have any glasses like Jessica, but I got my Winter Soldier hoodie on, so I'm ready to talk some cap. A little bit of blood on my cap shield, getting ready for this finale. So let's do it.
Oh my god.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
You are geared up and ready to go. All right, so let's talk about the Falcon and Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi and how they might be connected. So Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, they released this trailer introducing us to Shang-Chi and his father Wenwu, aka the Mandarin, who's the leader of the criminal empire known as the Ten Rings. And right now we're kind of looking at the finale of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is a series with a lot of loose ends regarding the Southeast Asian criminal haven of Madripoor and the mysterious power broker. Now, maybe by the time you are watching this episode of Rogue Theory, you might have some answers to some of these questions. But how is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier setting up all the big chapters ahead for the MCU? Characters like Shang-Chi, like Natasha Romanoff and Black Widow, even though that's going to be set earlier, it seems like a show like the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a very grounded story. So it's going to be setting up things like Shang-Chi, like Secret Invasion, perhaps. So I want to hear from you guys. How do you think this series is really opening up the MCU to these corners of stories that are set on Earth?
Well, I think that there's and especially from that trailer, there's so many things that you could gleam off of that tie into different parts of the MCU. Like even just little moments of like that warrior battle, like their weapons are glowing, and it's like, is that like kind of like Mordo's, his staff that he had, where he could imbue it with some magic, and never mind, the thing you've already pointed out on the show about that maybe going back to Madripoor. And so I think that, I think that maybe the end of the show is gonna try to set some seeds for some things coming up. And one of the things I was thinking is that, I do agree, I think they're going back to Madripoor, and I wonder if Madripoor is actually maybe the Mandarin's HQ, where he operates his criminal empire out of. Because that's a kind of a lawless place where maybe he can operate without any interference. He has access to all the deadliest assassins on the planet. Maybe some of them even help train Shang-Chi. And then that way, as Wenwu, maybe this public-facing non-criminal persona, he can move freely throughout the world without people really realizing that he's a Mandarin. And that could explain why an evil organization like AIM didn't even know he was real, And then, there's precedent for that too, and other things like how Lex Luthor can become president even though he's like a supervillain because he's got kind of those two personas. Yeah, so I wonder. I think that we might be seeing a lot of, without realizing it, some of the groundwork for the future of the MCU coming through.
Yeah, I would build off of exactly what you're saying. That I think a lot of this is we're going to find out that the Mandarin has been touching everything in the MCU the entire time. And like you said, with Madripoor, I mean, this is just this criminal place where a lot of criminals and activity and things happen. And I think the tie that could bring this back into the Falcon and Winter Soldier, he very well may be the power broker, or the power broker is associated with the Mandarin. And then we find out that Sharon Carter, as an extension, is probably involved somehow. Because the whole thing with the Mandarin, if we take this all the way back to the beginning of the MCU, it's about power. What was the Ten Rings trying to do? They wanted the Stark tech, right? When we look at the Falcon and Winter Soldier, what is the power broker trying to do? He wants the super soldier serum because it's power. So you tie that into the Ten Rings and just everything that's going with him. He's assembling all the power in the world because ultimately he's going to make his big play at some point is my assumption here. And then Shang-Chi, I always screw up the name wrong, so I do apologize. But Shang-Chi obviously plays into this because they've changed his origin a little bit, that it's the Mandarin son. So now we're probably going to have that whole Vader, Luke Skywalker moment with them, and he's going to be in opposition to what the Mandarin is attempting to do with his crime syndicate. So yeah, I think his tentacles are everywhere in the MCU, just touching everything.
I mean, I think that is the most satisfying answer to who is the power broker. Now, again, I could be wrong. That's kind of been the theory drum I've been beating, is like, I just think the power broker feels like a Mandarin type figure, even though the power broker could be anyone. It could be just some unknown person. I just think, like, if you're going to reveal it to be someone else we know in the MCU, someone involved with the 10 Rings, knowing that the 10 Rings is going to be in another movie this year seems like the most apt way to go, based off what we already know the 10 Rings to be, what you guys have been saying. But yeah, I think it is, and the 10 Rings, answering that question of who is the real Mandarin is a question that Marvel fans have had since Iron Man 3, and since that All Hail the King short. Like, the way they had Trevor Slattery, it felt like a joke, but it really shortchanged the coolness of the Mandarin and what they could be. It felt like Iron Man, the movie's kind of backed away from that, and now Shang-Chi, like, again, I just said Shang-Chi because it's still in my head, trying to get it right. Shang-Chi feels like they could answer it in a way that gets people really excited for what's coming next.
I just want to say really quick, because I already said it before, I'm really sleepy. I just woke up, so I'm sorry that I'm talking very slow.
It's okay, we got you.
I'm so tired. It's not because it's 4:20. I promise. It's just because I'm really sleepy. So I agree with everyone. I think I agree, but I also disagree because this is your theory.
Okay.
So I think Madripoor is a big connection. Like, obviously, it's like where all crime is. So it's like, of course, the Mandarin has his hands in it. But I also don't think it's his, like, I don't think he's the power broker. I think what I would love to see Sharon Carter being the power broker, and I want her to be a good person. So I do want her to be working undercover so deep that she somehow got into the Mandarin's level of the 10 Rings. Okay. But I don't know if that's plausible, because that man is ancient and has been, he knows everything. He's godlike. So I do think that Madripoor is going to be a big connection, but I think the big connection for Madripoor is literally just the estranged sister. He's just going to Madripoor to go find the sister. I think the sister's in the heart of it all. And so that's why we see that fight scene in the middle. I think that there's going to be a lot of crime there, but that's also where the sister's laying low and trying to be on the hideout. So I think when Shang-Chi, we're all pronouncing it completely wrong or right. One of us must be right. When he shows up there, that's why he's just doing that fight scene with his sister. I think that Madripoor is just going to be like the side part. It's going to be like, oh, remember this from Falcon and Winter Soldier? Yeah, he has crime people here too. But I think with your breakdown, Voss, that castle that he took over millions of years ago will be that castle that they're using as the headquarters.
Yeah. Or not millions. Millions of ancient humans. It's millions.
Maybe millions.
Maybe millions. Maybe, who knows?
Maybe 1,000.
Some powerful ass bracelets. But yeah, maybe.
2 billion. 2 billion. So, you guys give me a break. And so I'm drinking a cold brew and a celebratory 2021 graduation cup. I graduated in 2016. Nice. So I think that shut up, boss. I think that's gonna be the main part. But I mean, with that, I feel like my theory is kind of lame to be like, Sharon is probably just being there trying to do undercover stuff. Madripoor is literally just there for the sister. But I do think that he's so big that we have to give the Mandarin such a big, like, entrance that I think Madripoor's too small. I think it's gonna be like, it has to be huge.
I'll just say, following up what you're saying about Madripoor, because you do bring up a great point as far as that wouldn't be the Mandarin's headquarters, so to speak, because obviously, again, Eric, great breakdown that you had, the castle and everything that we already saw. That's most likely where his origin, his base is going to be. But I kind of think of Madripoor as, and I keep using Star Wars references, I'm sorry, but the Tatooine of the MCU.
Absolutely.
This kind of gives us the place where all the criminals go, where all the shady stuff is going. Yeah, exactly. So
I agree with
maybe that's it. But now I am going to push back a little bit on your Sharon Carter thing, because I truly hope she isn't really undercover and just this is the deepest of deep fakes of all time. I hope she has just completely broke bad. I hope that
Ooh.
Civil War
Me too.
made her go, you know what? Screw you guys. You guys all got off. I'm just, it's like Deep Cover, if you remember that movie with Larry Fishburne back in the 90s. But she started off a good guy, and now she's a villain. I really hope that. You know, I think that would be an interesting twist and a different look at a character we already know.
I'd want her to be the villain, but I don't think which is, people are going to come at me, feel free. I don't think she is capable of, like, the Mandarin. Those people are just murderers. They're just killers. Like, they don't need, like, a motive. So it's like, so you're just going to start killing people recklessly? I feel like you still have an ounce of, like, morality in your heart. So I don't know if
they're reckless. They seem pretty precise in their targets.
About
who they didn't
killing.
kill Tony Stark. They knew to use Tony Stark to build them another super weapon. Like, and she was pretty John Wick vicious in those shipyards. Let's admit that's a new side of Sharon Carter we hadn't seen.
Look, but those were bad people. I don't know. I feel like in the comics he seemed more like ruthless. To be fair, I was going off the comics that are not being combined to the new series. I don't think. I think we're going, because I was reading like the 1975 ones where I'm like, this isn't even the same person. So, but he just seems like not remorse. Like he has no remorse.
I really like the idea about the sister. I hadn't thought about that, and that would be really fun if the sister was the power broker. Because one of the things that I didn't like is if the power broker is someone we already know, like let's say it's the Mandarin. Well, he's the Mandarin and the power broker, you know, or Sharon Carter and it's the power broker. It's like it would be fun if it was maybe someone new that we didn't know. But also, I don't think it would be like a not well-known actor, like how they, you know, Dr. Nagel. Like it probably is going to be somebody well-known, but also maybe not be a A-list reveal because they just did that with the last episode. One theory I wanted to propose, if you will, maybe even a rogue theory, if you will. If we're going off of that theory that it's going to be somebody we already know, I think that there could be somebody that we've already met that has the resources and the reach and just so happens to have some connections to the Mandarin that could be the power broker. And someone who I would think would be so fun to see. I really want, and I hope, the power broker is Justin Hammer. And here's why. So, you know, at the end of the All Hail the King spot, we saw that he was at Seagate with, you know, Trevor Slattery. And maybe when he got broken out, maybe he was able to escape too, running off, and maybe he ran off to Madripoor. And since losing the arms race really to Tony as far as enhancing people with armor, you know, he could have shifted into enhancing people with the serum, you know, or other ways. And that's how he kind of became this power broker. Now he gets to live it up and be rich at that club, dancing every night, you know, probably complimentary lollipops at the door.
Yeah, you know, Rockwell's going to work in a dance.
Yeah. And the other thing I remembered is that, you know, he, you know, one of the things that he did in Iron Man 2 is he flew in ice cream from San Francisco. And, you know, what's one of the most famous desserts in SF? Ghirardelli's, which was in the Shang-Chi, see, I'm saying it wrong too, the Shang-Chi trailer. There you go. There's two different Shang-Chi connections. Yep. Oh, is Ghirardelli's owned by Disney?
One of your connections is just ice
Ghirardelli. Well, the Ghirardelli,
the
like,
Ghirardelli's ice cream.
Okay. It's what? Okay, I'm sorry. Disney doesn't own it.
Yeah.
Now, I like your Justin Hammer take. That's a great twist on it. So it would be a fun thing if that turned out to be it. But I'm still holding on to dear life that it's Zola. I want it to be Zola.
Oh,
I know.
Yes.
I want it to be him because
Yeah.
then he is someone, but then he's no one at the same time because
Right,
he's basically
yeah.
just an
Tight.
AI this entire time, and he's been the one that's been manipulating everything. And then maybe the Mandarin is, you know, associated with them to bring that tie-in. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting reveal once we get that on who the power broker is, what are the motivations, why is he or she doing what they're doing. But yeah, it's gonna be
I
fun.
love the Zola theory too, but I'm just thinking about it more. Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be Mephisto'd again, like, because I was so hardcore with that.
I know.
And not because of you, Eric.
hill.
I was on my own Mephisto train from day one, but I'm just saying, like, you know what, like, but Zola would make sense because he's tied to Captain America in that story. And I love how in this show they're working in so many parts from the score, from Henry Jackman's score to other side characters, and to bring him back with the body and the TV. Oh, sign me up. That would be legit. Yeah.
To bring him back as the body with the TV.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal one half of Tom's theory, and I want to believe it's the sister now because that'd be really sick. Because I feel like
Wait,
the
that was
sister
your theory. I
wanted-
was repeating it. Yeah.
Okay, so never mind. You guys, I didn't steal Tom's theory. It was my theory. So I would love for the power broker to end up being the sister, and we see that in September. I know that's so. I feel like they're gonna release who the power broker is by the 6th episode for sure. But if they don't, then I'm gonna hold on to that balloon that it's the sister, and that'd be really tight because she's trying to get redemption.
I'm gonna be super surprised if when we're watching this episode tonight, that if they reveal anybody that we just saw in the Shang-Chi trailer in the episode, just because like Tony Leung is a big name in a lot of films. These actors, and if it's just someone who's like, oh, you had to remember them from the trailer, I think people would be like, wait, hold on, who is that actor? But if it's just like the Ten Rings logo, I think that's something that Marvel fans would be like, holy shit, Shang-Chi was all about that. Shang-Chi, oh my god, I can't punish myself. I'll get there. But man, Zola, oh my god, look, guys, I was looking out for Zola clues all episodes of this series, but at no point was like technology or surveillance technology or at any point did a webcam crane around or anything. If that had happened, I would have been all over it. But like, with WandaVision, we had several clues pointing to witchcraft and satanic imagery and dark magic and hell demonic stuff. And then at the end, it was just like, but no, we never
still didn't pan out, right?
It's kind of harder to see in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was like hoping it would be as like kind of easy, I guess, whatever to read as WandaVision was. But Falcon and Winter Soldier is kind of hard because there's also so many different branches to it that I'm like, because the last scene with Torres in the last episode, I was just like, oh, so he's just gonna become Falcon. Now we're gonna Falcon him. I was like, are we? What are we doing? So there's just so much it could be. I'm sorry if Zola hasn't shown up yet.
Well, I don't think he will, but I think what we're discovering with these first two Disney Plus series is that the arc of the series is being crafted by showrunners and directors and writers who are just trying to tell their story following a character's journey. With WandaVision, it was Wanda's overcoming her grief. With Falcon Winter Soldier, it's about Sam understanding the meaning of the shield and whether he feels worthy of carrying it and whether he feels like he's the right guy to carry that shield. And then when it comes to how it sets up the broader MCU, it really is just Kevin Feige being like, do this and this is the post-credit scenes, and then everything else will just figure out in the exposition of the first act of the next movie. So it's really, we just have that one or two scenes that come after the credits to really tell us everything we need to know and make the next dozen videos on this channel about. Well, a ton of great stuff there. It makes me even more excited to go into this final episode to see if any of this comes true. We'll be screaming if any of it is right. But all three of you guys had some really great theories there. Let's see. I feel like Tom, I got to give you some credit for the Ghirardelli ice cream connection with Justin Hammer. That's a reach, but it's my kind of reach.
Yeah, there we go. Thanks.
Paris, I'm going to give you a point for seeing the connections there with the power broker, but also bringing up the Zola train there because I think we all wanted it to be Zola.
We want it.
But you got to have your safety theory and your reach theory, that's just like applying to college. And then Jessica, I think you were the first one to bring up the idea of it, of the sister, of Shang-Chi's sister being as important as she is, and that was someone who barely appeared in the Shang-Chi trailer, but man, if she could be connected, if she could be the power broker, I think that would be a really cool role for her as well. So I'm gonna give you a point as well.
Yeah, everything's pink with these on, and it's giving me a headache. But I'm doing it for the looks. I'm doing it for the fashion.
Look through everything in rose tinted glasses. Eventually, you're gonna get a headache. Right?
That's true. Oh.
Nostalgia is a poison.
Damn, you're my therapist now. Damn, and it's free.
But hey, this week we also got some huge casting news for the upcoming Marvel Disney Plus series, Secret Invasion. Everyone's in this show now, so we're going to talk about what we think they're doing there. But first, we want to thank some people and tell you about some stuff we're excited about. We're excited to announce that we have a new Falcon and the Winter Soldier inspired shirt and our latest Obsession collection over at newrockstarsmerch.com. This is a Zemo inspired design. It looks great. We rushed this guy out based on the first half of the season. It seeks to answer the question of who's really pulling the strings. Now, there is a limited supply, so you got to grab one real quick before we have to put it back in the dungeon with our previous shirt designs. And check out this mid-season shirt. Oh, also, check out this shirt that I'm wearing. This is our Anarchy Assembled shirt. All other kinds of great merch at newrockstarsmerch.com. Now, We want to thank some sponsors here. Today's episode is brought to you by Away Travel, who create thoughtful products for every traveler and every kind of trip. If you're like me, you're itching to travel again and see something that's not just out your window. You know, no matter what your destination style, Away's suitcases, bags, and accessories all come in a variety of colors, sizes, and materials to suit your needs and inspire your future travels. Away products are designed to last a lifetime. If any part of your suitcase breaks, Away's standout customer service team will arrange to have it fixed or replaced. There is a 100-day trial on everything Away makes. Take it out on the road and put it to the test. If you decide it's not for you, you can return any non-personalized item for a full refund during that period. Away offers free shipping and returns on any order within the contiguous US, UK, Europe, and Canada. So start your 100-day trial and shop the entire Away lineup of travel essentials, including their best-selling suitcases at awaytravel.com/rogue. That's awaytravel.com/rogue. We also want to thank our friends at Upstart for sponsoring this episode. If you dread looking at your credit card statement every month, Upstart can help lift that weight off your shoulders. Upstart is the fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personalized loan all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get a simple fixed monthly payment. Unlike other lenders, Upstart looks at more than just your credit score, like your income, your employment history. This means that they can offer smarter rates with trusted partners. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate upfront for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. You can receive funds as fast as one business day after accepting your loan. Find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/roguetheory. That's upstart.com/roguetheory. Don't forget to use our URL to let them know that we sent you. Loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and certain other information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/roguetheory. And finally, we want to thank ExpressVPN for sponsoring this episode. Most of us have very little choice in internet service provider because ISPs operate kind of like monopolies in the regions they serve. They use this monopoly power to take advantage of customers with data caps and streaming throttles. And worst of all, many ISPs log your internet activity and then sell that data to other big tech companies or advertisers. To prevent ISPs from seeing my internet activity, I protect my devices with ExpressVPN. It's an app for your computer or smartphone that encrypts all of your network data and tunnels it through a secure VPN server. ExpressVPN is the best way to hide your online activity from your ISP. Just download the app, tap one button, and you are protected. And ExpressVPN does all of this without slowing your connection. That's why it's rated the #1 VPN service by CNET and Wired. So stop handing over your personal data to ISPs and other tech giants who mine your activity and sell off your information. Protect yourself with the VPN I trust to keep me private online. Visit expressvpn.com/rogue. That's expressvpn.com/rogue to get 3 extra months free. Go to expressvpn.com/rogue right now to learn more. All right, guys, let's talk about Secret Invasion. I'm getting more and more excited for this show as they keep announcing what other big name is going to be in it. The cast for this Disney Plus Secret Invasion series is filling in. We got Olivia Coleman, the Queen of England from Netflix's The Crown, and just a hilarious actress who's been in everything, Oscar winner, as well as Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke, Daenerys Stormborn. Both of them are going to be in undisclosed roles of the show. Now, we already knew Kingsley Ben-Adir was going to be playing the villain of the series, on top of Nick Fury and Talos returning. You could have just told me Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn were in this show and no one else, and I would watch it. On top of that, we got all these other big names who are filling in. So, meanwhile, we're seeing Squirrels everywhere in the MCU. There was the one who appeared in the WandaVision post-credit scene. Another Squirrel appears in the Loki trailer. And then lately in the Falcon the Winter Soldier, we got Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine joined the MCU. She has a role in the Secret Invasion Prelude comic. She's actually one of the first people who gets swapped out for a Skrull that Nick Fury catches up on, and he realizes that this whole Secret Invasion is underfoot. So I want to ask you guys, who do you think everyone is playing, or who, start to cast some of these people for me, and how do we think recent events are setting up the Secret Invasion to really take over the full MCU?
Is it fair to say that everybody's a Skrull.
Yes,
That's
it
kind
is.
of my thing.
I
Every
mean,
time
sure.
I see a casting, I go, well, that's going to be a Skrull.
Like,
That'll be a Skrull. I mean, my thing that I've taken from this with Secret Invasion, obviously Nick Fury's going to kind of be the linchpin for all of this because he has the history going back to Captain Marvel and understanding of the Skrulls in this world. I think this will obviously be our introduction to some of the bad Skrulls that we haven't seen yet. And we're going to find out that over time, they have just almost like Hydra. They've infiltrated everything, even at the highest of levels. The Skrulls or Skrulls, excuse me, are there. So that's where I'm taking from it. So when you say castings like this, when you talk Olivia Coleman, when you say Emilia Clarke, I'm thinking I would be bummed if they weren't Skrulls, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
but it wouldn't surprise me if Kingsley isn't. Just because he's a villain, maybe he's a human that's manipulating everything that's been going on in the background, right? So I'm pretty excited for it because this is clearly going to change our perception of the MCU because there's a pretty good chance there's going to be a prominent character that we've seen in the past. Turns out it was a Skrull the whole time. So that's what I'm excited about.
I think I agree and disagree.
Uh-oh.
That's every time. That's anytime I enter any conversation. I agree, but also I disagree. I think it's gonna be the same kind of math where I'm like, oh, this one of them has to be a human, but I think that human's gonna be Olivia Coleman, and I think ultimately Olivia Coleman, because she's the crown, she's the favorite, she's playing, and like even in Fleabag, she's just like this woman that holds so much power, and her just like her presence is already like not like egotistical, but it's just like I demand respect. So I think she's gonna be a director, someone that even if like Nick Fury comes back, he's gonna have to talk to, and she's gonna be like, no, we're not doing this. I don't know what director of what. There's so much people coming.
How about Abigail Brand, director
There
of
you go.
Sword?
There you go.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
think. Thank you.
good.
Thanks. I should have said that. I claim it. God damn it! I should have said that. I didn't even think about that. I was like, I don't know who it is. The person that people have been begging for in freaking WandaVision. So I think it could be. Yeah, it could be her. But then I also think like Emilia Clarke would probably play. Well, I assumed that Kingsley would be the Super Skrull, the Kalar, whatever. I just assumed he'd be like the strongest Skrull of them all. And then I assumed that Emilia Clarke would play the Queen Veronke or whatever, because she's also
Emilia Clarke
gorgeous
for
and she's
Veronke
great
too,
for that
yeah.
role. But
Yeah.
I do think that's where we're meeting with, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier will help with the super soldier serum and how there's a bunch of random superhumans in the world. That's the people that they're taking and like dissecting and trying to like mimic. They're trying to mimic all the super soldiers that we have now seen in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Does this hand movement help anything? But
I was missing it, but now I get it. Thanks for that. Yeah.
So I think that's where it's coming from.
No, I'm going to agree with both of you. I think that I think that they're most likely, maybe they'll play human cells, but I think they might be the Skrulls most likely. I was thinking the same thing as you, Jessica, that Kingsley Ben-Adir would be maybe a super Skrull, and we could be setting him up for more roles in Fantastic Four, which is now coming down the line. Because with the Skrulls really coming to a head now in the MCU, that's got to tie into the Fantastic Four at some point. And people were thinking Reed Richards was going to be in WandaVision. I was like, that's a little early, maybe, but I didn't think so.
I was that believer. I was that believer.
Really don't think they would. So now I'm like, okay, now we could be starting to set some chess pieces in place for the Fantastic Four. And it's funny, before Emilia Clarke was announced, I was like, oh, maybe Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Val will be Veranke, because she has a history of being a Skrull in the comics. Maybe she's a Skrull in this universe too. And then if they make her have a relationship with Nick Fury, that would add more stakes to Nick Fury finding out she's a Skrull and how that comes to a head in that show. But now that they've got Daenerys on board, I'm like, oh well, she's got to be Veranke, and Olivia Coleman, another queen on the show. I'm like, so maybe Olivia Coleman will be like the Queen Skrull who's like in charge of everything.
That was kind of my thought.
Yeah, Daenerys is like the up and coming young queen, and through her own will and strength will end up taking over, and then now Daenerys will be the one to invade Earth and start all of this stuff. But so I like both those series, and I think it's going to be somewhere in between there.
That's the one thing that I'm confused about is when Contessa showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was like, where is she going? And I'm still like very confused. Like, Yeah, she's gonna be in. Well, do you know? Do you know?
Paris knows.
No, well, again, I'm just holding on to my hope, and I'm sure it'll be crushed when episode 6 comes out. I think she's acting she's acting as a lieutenant for Thunderbolt Ross. I think she's putting together.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I was so confused. I was like, where is her character gonna go in this? I was so confused when she showed up.
Obviously, we know the legacy that potentially she could show up in Secret Invasion and everything on that. But it seems to me the bigger play, especially since we know she was supposed to be in Black Widow. We saw the conversation she had with John Walker. We know where Zemo is headed, to the raft, which is controlled by Ross. It almost seems like she's acting on his behalf to set up his own group to be able to do the things that, Falcon and Bucky would be unwilling to do.
Right. Yeah. 100%. We have when we're taping this, it will be tomorrow when it comes out, but by the time you're watching this, it'll be yesterday's video. Yeah, I tried to piece together all the clues we saw for how she could be involved in a Thunderbolts plot. And to me, it just seems like the fact that she is eager to recruit John Walker, a super soldier, juiced up guy, and the fact that Zemo's going to the raft, it's kind of, we have like these two strands of things that are going in kind of similar directions. And I'm wondering if like they would have named her Victoria Hand if not for the fact that like Victoria Hand was already in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they didn't want any confusion there. And two, if Olivia Coleman is playing Abigail Brand, they didn't want to just have two similar sounding new stunt castings in the MCU of Abigail Brand, Victoria Hand,
Hand,
And screenwriting, you kind of try to change up your characters' names as much as you can.
One other theory that I had, and I'm wondering, is I agree that, Marvel's really been planting the seeds for some kind of Squirrel action. Like every property we've had up to this point has a Squirrel stinger. If not, they're part of the movie itself. So I was thinking kind of like the comics, how it ended Civil War to kind of lead into Secret Invasion. My other theory that relates to Winter Soldier is, what if, Sharon Carter, who's maybe the power broker, she's obviously broken bad, she's evil. What if she will be revealed to be a Skrull? And that could explain the bad behavior. And if she dies in this next episode, which you might already know if you're watching, or if not, it's coming out tonight. If she dies, then her Skrull body could be what brings them to be like, what's happening? And that could be the stinger. Kind of like how
that's a fun one.
Pagon, I think is the name of the Skrull, who was Elektra, who served the same purpose. The Elektra Skrull, that when she died was a Skrull and revealed that what's going on, we have this, what's happening. And I think Sharon might be able to fit that role too, and that would then give more credence to why Sharon Carter's acting so weird without hitting the nail on the head of she's the power broker, right?
Yeah.
Or something else happening.
I mean, I'll say going into this series, Sharon Carter was up at the top of the list I had for who would be a possible role, just because she's such a blank canvas,
totally.
And she's been around for a while. We know Maria Hill has in the past swapped around with a Skrull. But at this point, who do you guys think? If not Sharon Carter, for me, Rhodey's kind of at the top of my list.
Always thought that. Yeah. He's been a big one for me. And they would give you that tie back all the way to Iron Man 1. That here's Tony Stark's best friend was a Skrull the entire time.
Look, that'd be messed up. This is the part of Secret Invasion that I know I'm going to be so frustrated in, and I'm sure everyone will be, of being like, are they human or are they Skrull? Of just constantly being like, oh, what are they? Are they human or are they Skrull?
One thing I kind of thought a while back was that, similar to the, to War Machine, that they would treat some of the recasting they had to do as a Skrull kind of situation, so that would make sense with the Don Cheadle thing, and but then they would have to then explain more Terrence Howard stuff. But there's I think they're gonna have to pick a lot of characters, like maybe even side people, kind of like how Jarvis in the comics ended up being a Skrull, but they can't do that now.
Does it have to be someone from the original core? The original.
It doesn't have to. I just feel like that's
could be someone
where
that's coming up.
Yeah, I think both, right? I think it's going to be new people who come to the scene. But, if you got to think what made Secret Invasion so exciting in the comics is, people who had been with for years. Yeah. And I think that's what excites Kevin Feige and the people working on the show the most about it, who in the MCU? Could we reveal to be a Skrull without pissing a bunch of people off? That's kind of the dance.
Right.
That's true. I mean, and they could be going... That's why I liked Veronica a lot, because when she was playing Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman.
Right. Yeah.
So, and also, they don't have to follow the comic, but though I think news sources have been like, this is the one that follows the comics really well and completely. I don't know if that's true, but I think they could still change up those things slightly. Like she could be playing. She wouldn't be like Monica, but she could be Don Cheadle. She could end up being Rhodes the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard because yes, Super Skrulls exist, but that's like a step beyond just revealing someone's a shape-shifting alien. They're gonna have to start with someone who's just like presumably a normal human, who maybe has access to advanced tech like Rhodey does.
Happy could be a Skrull. Yeah,
Happy could be a good Skrull. Wow.
That would be a good one.
Happy would be a great
I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
but that's why I was thinking that it would be. Like Val would probably be a good contestant because Amelia Clark is great and fantastic, but what the fun part about Veranke is like, she was somebody, now she's somebody else, so it would have to just be switching an actor and all of a sudden it's Amelia Clark and now I'm the one who's been the Skrull the whole time, versus if it's someone like Val or even War Machine, it's someone it's someone we know and are already attached to in that sense, it's not just morphing into Amelia Clark. It's like some other actor and some other person that we've already seen.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Was it you just now, Jessica, who said Happy Hogan could be a Skrull?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a point for that because that is I want Favreau.
I like
Favreau's looking in a mirror, shapeshifting into a Skrull would be such an amazing reveal and wouldn't piss off anybody. People would be like, whatever. He was kind of a fun side character. All right, let us now look ahead to our rogue questions. We have a couple questions. Everybody can answer these. So are you guys ready? Okay, so Zack Snyder revealed in an interview over the weekend that the original title that he wanted for Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice was Son of Sun, Night of Night.
I'm going to fight him.
What? My question is, what is the most pretentious title you can think of for Batman v Superman?
That's really pretentious. That is honestly the...
Pretty pretentious.
So stupid. If I knew him, I'd walk to his house right now.
And say thank you? Or what would you say? It's stupid.
No, I'd slap him.
Let's say, Zach, let's sit down. We know you're good enough. You can come up with a better title than that.
The Son of
But
Sun
it is still better than BVS DOAJ.
Oh, God. A more pretentious title than that. Okay, let me think. Okay. Okay, hear me out. What if it's so stupid it makes no sense. What if he called it like Earth, Wind, and Fire, and then he's playing Earth, Wind, and Fire on the trailer soundtrack, and each Earth, Wind, and Fire represents one of the members
of the League,
of the Justice League,
of the Trinity.
Yeah. I don't know which one Batman would be. Earth, I guess. Put Wonder Woman as wind.
Fire.
No, fire. No, that makes more sense. That fire. Okay. And then Superman could be wind, I guess. But then they could add water, and it would be Aquaman. I'm trying to think of something so corny and stupid. I think that's pretty good. And it's like, do you remember? But in slow motion. Okay. We'll slow it down.
Dark piano cover of it.
And then it fades.
This is probably terrible, but what if it was something like Sun, S-U-N, falls to the night, K-I-N-G-H-T. I don't know. It's just terrible.
It's good. That one's better.
Pretty pretentious. Yeah, that's up there.
I was going between two. It could be like Superman and Batman Returns to play on both of those movies that have a Returns, or you could just not even call it Superman Batman versus Batman. You can call it just Dawn of Martha and nothing else. And everyone will have to be, what is the title of that? And it won't be till the end that you are to that pivotal moment where you find out that this was the Dawn of Martha.
I have a second one to add to mine. So what if because I thought about it. What if he just stole another title and he called it Nightman Cometh? And only fans of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia knew what he was talking about, but they're talking about Batman coming back. I think it's good. Nightman Cometh. I'm trying to think of something as stupid as the Sun and Sun one. I'm very upset about it.
How about a play on Lois and Clark, the TV show? So it's Bruce and Clark, the fight for justice.
The New Adventures of Super Friends.
I love the idea of Lois and Clark, like Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, just the Super Friends. That actually could do that too.
Lois and Clark. Oh my god.
I love this. Many great answers there. I have to give the point to the Nightman Cometh. Jessica.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Almost as honestly slightly better than his original idea of the title. He is so stupid. Zach, why would you do that? Like he's my friend.
Gonna come for
Zach,
you.
why would you do
They
that?
are coming for you.
I
The
love.
comments.
Okay, don't get me wrong. Go ahead, but that title is ridiculous, you guys. That title's ridiculous.
It feels like a
everyone.
first
She's
draft.
right. Yeah.
Feels like a first draft for sure.
It was definitely like he made the script and then he was like, damn, I gotta freaking title this, and waited like he drank like 4 cold brews and was like, okay, hold on.
Titles are
Got
hard.
it.
Titles are hard. Leave it to the marketing people to come up with titles. I don't know. Here's my story.
You guys make me feel like the people are gonna come at me on the comments. I got in a fight with a bunch of people yesterday because their favorite Batman is the George Clooney Batman.
Who are these people?
Okay,
How did they
How dare you.
How did they figure out how to use Twitter?
Thank you. Oh my god, I'm gonna clip this and I'm gonna share it everywhere. I was like, y'all, I thought we all knew that one was like the funny
No, they
one.
were trolling you.
I
No,
know.
they
had to
weren't.
be.
No,
Yeah.
they
He got a
weren't.
bad
They were
credit
all-
card.
Alvin,
No,
you hear this?
no.
Alvin,
they're
you hear
trolling
this?
you.
credit card.
No.
Yeah, I'm
A
switching
bad
to
credit
tell
card.
everyone to chill.
Never going
Alvin?
No.
Yeah. None of it.
Listen here, Alvin, on the clips. I am so thank you. I was taken. Thank you, you guys.
Glasses
I don't
are
feel
on.
crazy.
She's serious,
Yeah.
guys.
All right, we have one more question. So the Oscars are this weekend. So your challenge is you can give out any Oscar you like, including a made-up category to a film that you liked in 2020.
Oh, it's not even made up. Sonic the Hedgehog for Best Picture because it's the only movie I saw in 2020.
Only in theaters, I assume, right? You could
Yeah,
watch
in
stuff on
theaters.
streaming. Okay,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yes, it might have been. It's like one of 5 movies I got to see in the theater in 2020 for sure.
I would give a best Oscar performance for best streaming show Cry to Sebastian Stan at the Wakanda Fire. That part where he's getting it wiped from him, I was like, oh, all of a sudden this show just got so real. And I feel so, it's like, oh, it's not a comic book show anymore. I feel so bad for this guy who's been hurt for so long. And I was like, somebody give Sebastian Stan an award. I need to see that.
I was gonna say along the same lines as Tom and be like, give them like a TV category, like one TV category, which if the Oscars did that, they'd wrap in with musical and comedy because they don't know where to put those two for some reason. And I think they should give it to Elizabeth Olsen in WandaVision because her acting was incredible and she didn't even get anything.
You know we have an award show for TV, right?
No, we don't.
I
I don't know what you're talking about. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I only watch the
Oscars or nothing. Yeah.
I only watch the Academy Awards. What's wrong with you?
Well,
Ew.
I gotta give the point to Parris. Is the only one who mentioned a movie for
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And a movie that came out, I think, actually in 2019.
No, Sonic came out February 2020.
Whatever.
And we all saw it,
did.
and we all
Sure.
cried, and we loved it. And it was
Okay,
wonderful.
I was ready to fight.
It came out 12 years ago in 2020.
Yeah,
In
it seems like
2020, yeah.
Despite that, Jessica, you have the most points, making you the winner of today's Rogue Theory.
Ooh, I don't want to
Congrats.
toot my own horn, but this is my second time in a row winning Rogue Theory.
Okay.
So
Just
Well, we'll
I don't know what's
remember
going on,
that.
but beep.
Yeah,
I'm just saying right now, where's my check? Where's my check?
it's in the mail. It's in the
Oh,
mail.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that is it for this episode of Rogue Theory. This is such a fun episode. I love chatting the Falcon Winter Soldier and Shang-Chi and Secret Invasion with you guys. I can't wait to have you guys back next time so we can see how right and wrong we were about our theories. I'm sure it's all going to be right.
100%.
Thank you so much to all of our guests, Jessica Clemons, Parris Lilly, Tom Michelsen. Support all 3 of them by following them on their social medias and supporting all their various projects. All 3 are working on amazing things and very funny, talented people. So support them wherever they are. You can support our channel by checking out one of our many great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. You can follow me at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars here on, what are we on? We're on YouTube right now. Yeah, that's where we are. But we're on other platforms as well. Follow us there. And subscribe to us, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.